the big question around lifting of the lockdown. There's a lot of anxiety among people who want to know whether the lockdown will be lifted on the 15th of April. So the Prime Minister had a video conference meeting with chief ministers of various states to understand their inputs and their respective situation, and suggestions were taken in on how the rollback can be done. The Prime Minister has made it amply clear that there will be a calibrated lifting of the lockdown. So that is what we know as of now. But individual states have made their own observations and their own decisions on whether the lockdown can be lifted or not. In Maharashtra, for instance, there's a very strong indication that the lockdown may not be lifted on the 14th. The Prime Minister had called for suggestion on this matter, and some states have already started expressing their opinion on whether it would be advisable or not to lift the lockdown, though any concrete decision in this regard has not been announced.
एक नक्कीच आहे की संपूर्णतः लॉकडाऊन उठेल असं कोणीही डोक्यात ठेवू नये. 100% यामध्ये आपल्याला काळजीपूर्वकच काम करावं लागेल आणि ज्या ठिकाणी अधिक जास्तीच्या केसेस आहेत मुंबई पुण्यासारख्या ठिकाणी तिथे तर खूपच जास्त काळजी घ्यावी लागेल. त्यामुळे लॉकडाऊनच्या संदर्भात 100% शिथिलच होईल 15 नंतर असं कोणीही गृहीत धरू नये.
इस संवेदनशीलता के बढ़ने के कारण ये अब संभावना है कि 14 अप्रैल के बाद भी लॉकडाउन खुल पाएगा कि नहीं, ये अभी कहा नहीं जा सकता है, क्योंकि ये संवेदनशीलता हमारे प्रदेश की बढ़ गई. और एक भी केस अगर हमारे प्रदेश में रह जाता है तो लॉकडाउन खोलना उचित नहीं होगा.
All right, let me bring in Mayuresh Ganpatiye, Deputy News Editor of Mirror Now, joining us live now to talk about what position the Maharashtra government has taken. So, Mayuresh, the statement coming in from the Health Minister is sort of a warning saying do not assume that the lockdown will be lifted on the 15th of April. What do we make of it? Does the government of Maharashtra have a plan in place how it intends to lift or not lift the lockdown? And what is the input that we have from the government side on this?
Afrida, almost Maharashtra has reached 700 cases. There are more than 700 positive COVID patients in Maharashtra. So in such scenario, that Maharashtra government is taking each and every step to make sure that the number will not reach or the number will not go up. Because if you see the mortality rate in state of Maharashtra, which they were expecting between 2.5% to 3%, but it has reached almost 5%. So that's why Maharashtra government is basically in heddle. We have been given to understand, or it was a clear hint which we just heard. Maharashtra Health Minister Rajesh Tope clearly said that after 15, one should not assume that the lockdown will get revoked. There will not be a lockdown and everything will get open. The situation will get assessed between the 10th of April to 14th of April by CM of Maharashtra Uddhav Thackeray and Deputy CM Ajit Pawar and Council of Ministers. After that, they will take a necessary step whether to lift the lockdown, whether to lift it partially or whether to continue with the lockdown. But yes, the hint is coming directly from the Health Minister of Maharashtra that one should not assume it that post 14th April there will be the lockdown will get lifted.
Right, Mayuresh, I want to ask you specific challenges that the state of Maharashtra is facing. Of course, in Mumbai in particular, there are quite a few hotspots now. It was initially Dharavi and Worli. Now Andheri has also come into the ambit. And what is concerning is that certain pockets have announced stricter lockdown measures and even prohibited vegetable vendors from operating. Disha was in fact sending us inputs about how in Thane, in Dombivli and certain other parts, the vegetable vendors have also been prohibited because people had started crowding around those areas. Do we have any fresh update on this?
See, crowding is another important task in front of Maharashtra government, because despite several requests from center and state government and CM of Maharashtra and other ministers not to gather at one place for vegetable, to purchase a vegetable or fruits, but still people are not listening, and that's why we have seen that even police were deployed at many places to control the crowd. So that is the challenge number one. Challenge number two is that Maharashtra government has now asked a center to provide the PPE kits, ventilators, and N95 masks. So they are waiting they're waiting for a center government to send these kits as well as these masks and ventilators in the case of an emergency.
Right. Okay, Paul Uman also joining me on the phone line. So, Paul, we are hearing specific statements coming from the Telangana Chief Minister, where the suggestion is that it is unlikely the lockdown will be lifted. Later, a clarification also came that there was a suggestion that the lockdown should be enforced for another 15 days post 15th of April. What's the clarity on this, Paul?
Well, Afrida, we're all been getting calls from relatives who are wondering whether the lockdown will be extended or in a staggered manner they will be ending this particular lockdown. But yesterday in the press conference held by CM KCR, very categorically he has said that he has urged the Prime Minister to extend the lockdown. He says for the complete benefit of the lockdown, you need to extend it. And he also quoted the Boston Consulting Group's report, which suggests that until June at least, the lockdown should be extended. So we're seeing a situation where UP, Goa, and now even Telangana Chief Minister is suggesting extension of the lockdown. CM KCR also happened to say in a press conference that they have been in touch with the Prime Minister on a regular basis. And he said he has urged the Prime Minister. Now it is the Prime Minister's call to talk to the other Chief Ministers and take a decision after thinking whether the lockdown should be extended. But he is completely for extension of the lockdown.
Yes. All right. So states like Maharashtra, states like Telangana, also Uttar Pradesh, making it clear that they may go ahead with the lockdown beyond 15th of April. Of course, a formal sanction from the Prime Minister on this might be sought by the chief ministers. A lot of stock-taking exercise at the various levels, district level and state level, going on at this point to take a decision on the lockdown. Let's in fact also tell our viewers here that in terms of the meetings that are being held, the Empowered Committee held a meeting on the North Block to discuss the exit plan from 14th of April on Monday. So things are being rolled out. A roadmap is being prepared to discuss how the calibrated lifting of the lockdown can take place. Home Secretary chaired this particular meeting, and officials from Niti Aayog, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Ministry of Pharmaceutical, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Industry and Trade, Railway Board and representatives from FICCI and CII attended this meeting.